extreme respect for the senator from South Carolina, who wants to say a few words on the opening. Senator Cardin and I will refrain from making our comments until you do so. We thank you so much for being here to introduce Taylor Force's dad, but also we thank you for your leadership on bringing forth legislation to deal with this most difficult issue. So thank you so much for being here, and the floor is yours, and take as long as you'd like to say whatever it is you wish. We know it'll be very brief.
I just want to join the chairman in extreme respect for the senator from South Carolina.
And you want to amend, don't take as long as you like. I won't take very long, and I like the fact that you invited him here and allowed me to do this. We're confirming the FBI director. We're having a hearing about his confirmation, so I got to run back. But I wanted to be here because Stuart has become a really good friend. Stuart Force is the father of Taylor Force. His mother, Robbie, couldn't be here. She's sick. His sister, Kristen, is watching the committee, and all of them appreciate this committee. I don't know how y'all do it, but you're working together in a bipartisan fashion to produce substantive legislation. Hats off to this committee, the chairman and ranking member. The Taylor Force Act. Well, who is Taylor Force? His father can tell you better than I can, but I think he represents everything good about our country. If you had a son, you would be proud to call him your son. He was 29 years old when he was killed. He was a graduate of West Point in 2009. He served a tour of duty in Iraq and Afghanistan as a field artillery officer. He had just gotten out of the military. He was going to Vanderbilt to study in a graduate school program in Israel, studying entrepreneurship. He was with his colleagues enjoying a night out in Jaffa at a restaurant. He walked outside and he was stabbed to death by a Palestinian terrorist. It's a pretty short summary of a well-lived life, and his death has to matter. It's got to mean something, and this committee in Congress has a chance to make sure it means something. The Forces are South Carolina residents, Stuart and Robbie. I don't know how things happen the way they do, but the fact that they live in my state has been a blessing to me because I get a chance with your help to do something about the death of their son. That's what I enjoy so much about the Senate. The man who killed Taylor Force was Bashar Masala. He stabbed him to death, and he stabbed others at the dinner. He was shot to death by the Israeli police. Fatah celebrated the murder of Taylor Force and other victims of the attack, praising him as a historic martyr. He named him and two other terrorist attackers as the pride of all the young Palestinians and urged future terrorists to go on killing in their name. Taylor Force Act is to stop a practice that I find reprehensible, which is the payment of the Palestinian Authority to people like Mr. Masala, who will kill innocent people and get rewarded for it by their government. So this law, which you understand very well, will stop American payments to the Palestinian Authority unless they stop paying their kids to kill other people. Taylor Force is not Jewish, he's not Israeli. He was an American at the wrong place at the wrong time. So here's what Abbas said last week, the president of the Palestinian Authority. Even if I will have to leave my position, he declared this week, which is last week, in response to U.S. and Israel pressure, I will not compromise on the salary of a martyr or a prisoner. So that's his position. I have no animosity against the Palestinian people. I wish them to have an independent state living peacefully side by side with Israel, the dignity that comes from charting your own destiny. But I insist that they stop paying their young people to become terrorists. And I don't want our tax dollars used to support any government that would do that. It's got to hurt for Stuart and Robbie to know that the taxes they paid go to a Palestinian Authority who rewards the killer of their son. There is no good explanation for this And this committee has an opportunity to send a signal to Mr. Abbas and everyone else that this position of the Palestinian Authority, Mr. Chairman and ranking member, is inconsistent with the two-state solution, is inconsistent with peace, and we need to stop our emboldening of this practice. I've been working on this for a year. This committee is making some changes to the law that I think are very constructive. I look forward to working with the committee to make more changes if necessary to get a strong vote. But I want Mr. Abbas to know our displeasure. I want the Palestinian people to understand that we will stand with them in search for a peaceful solution, but we will not empower them to kill people like Taylor Force. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. I don't know if anything could have been better said than what you just did, and I think it lends tremendous momentum to this effort. We thank you for introducing the legislation that you introduced, obviously having the relationship you have with Mr. Force and the family, and working with us. I thank you. I know we had a conversation last night late. We've had a couple of meetings with you and Matt, and I think we're getting to a place where we can have an overwhelming bill to do exactly what it is you just said. So thank you so much. I know you have other business, but again, you're welcome anytime to be here. We thank you for your leadership on this issue. Thank you so much.